Now more of what's hot.
Again, we're joined by Tracy Johnson from Temple, Milwaukee, Jeff Wagner from News Radio 620 WTMJ.
All right, topic number 2. $500,000 has been raised for the victims of the Temple massacre. Temple members are now meeting with attorneys to determine which families will get how much.
Whether or not somebody was in the parking lot or whether or not somebody was inside, it's going to go to the people who are most acutely affected.
It is a tough decision to make. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a fair way to distribute the money? Let me actually add to this that these families wanted to get these attorneys involved because they didn't want to bicker amongst each other for what is quite a bit of money. What do you guys think about this strategy?
I hope it works. I mean, seriously. I mean, this money was given to certainly to help try to make whole to the extent you can ever do that. Some of the victims of this very, very terrible situation. It would be awful, and I don't think it's going to happen. But it would be awful if this would somehow deteriorate into I should be entitled to this much. I didn't get enough. So I'm hoping that this can be mediated and it can work out. Whether it will or not, I don't know.
Well, and it sounds like the money's being distributed according to need, whether there's a sick family member or a widow or a pregnant daughter. I think far be it for us to question or criticize what the right way to distribute this money is. And I think it's a great example as to how communities come together in the face of tragedy. Wouldn't it be great if other communities would come together like this?
Well, see, the contrast with this, and it's one of the reasons I hope this works out, the contrast is, after you had the oil spill in the Gulf a few years ago, BP set up this huge fund. There is a ton of litigation still going on over who's entitled to how much and what happens if the trust runs out, if the money in the fund runs out, and does that leave some people high and dry. So I really hope that this is a way to amicably do it because goodness knows the people are entitled to the money.
All right, final topic now. This woman has some explaining to do. A Greenfield woman due back in court today after ditching jury duty for Mexico. 22-year-old Ivana Samardzich skipped town last week before a verdict was reached in a felony shooting case. She left her verdict on a slip of paper
with the foreperson.
Do you think this? What's a fair punishment for somebody who bails out like this?
Well, I'm laughing about this because I practice law in federal court. And federal judges, if somebody had done this, we'd already know what the punishment is because when she tried to come back into the country, she would have been arrested as she went through customs, put in handcuffs, and then put on a prisoner bus, slowly winding its way back to Milwaukee. I saw, somebody was saying, well, they're going to put her back in the jury pool for service again instead of having to wait 4 years. No, this is not the type of woman we want on jury duty. I think that there has to be a penalty, and actually, I'd have her sit in the county jail for a couple days. I think it's that significant.
Well, I think we all know where she was on that day during civics class. She's probably on spring break. But how about this? How about put her in front of a jury of her peers and let them decide? See how they like it. I don't know. Let's see.
Well, you have to do something because people just cannot take off. Now, in this particular case, the defendant agreed to go ahead with a jury of 11. But otherwise, if they didn't, you have a right to have 12 jurors. You got a mistrial, so you got to do the whole darn thing again. Jurors cannot just decide that they're going to walk out in the middle of the trial. And what's so irritating is, I'm sure if she had told the judge up front, oh, by the way, Judge, I have a vacation that's coming up, in 3 or 4 days, I bet you they would have excused her. They wouldn't have put her on this jury panel. Oh, sure.
You think?
I do.
I don't know. I've been on a jury before, and it lasted way longer than it should have. And I remember there were people that said they couldn't make it. And there was actually somebody who bailed, and they had a substitute. So, I don't know. It probably depends.
Never been picked for jury duty.
It'll be interesting to see.
They never want me.
Oh, we want you, Steve.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to take a break and be right back.